Hi, my name is Tiffany from Los Angeles, California, and I'm coming to you with another tip for cultivating more peace and love in your daily lives through forgiveness. So forgiveness to me is like a gift to yourself. This is forgiveness. And with this gift, I can unlock more peace and love in my daily life just through forgiving myself, most importantly. And then as soon as I learn and I'm conditioned to be loving and forgiving to myself, I can extend that to others around me. And now in the practice of forgiveness, as you hold all these judgments, all these less thans about yourself, let's release them together. Because they don't serve us, they don't serve anyone else. They aren't ways to cultivate peace and love in our lives. If anything, it adds anxieties and tensions and negative thoughts toward ourselves when we judge ourselves and we're not forgiving. So as you take an inhale and an exhale, try and focus on nothing but your breath, releasing all other thoughts just for these next few moments. On the inhale, just focus on the air, inhaling through your nose, and then focus on the air exhaling through your mouth. And as you do that, release all those judgments, all those things you think about yourself. And if other people's judgments are creeping onto your own mind to where you're taking those on, go ahead and release that too. So let's take a breath together. As we inhale deep through our nose, hold it for a second before you let it go. And go ahead and let that release go with a sigh, with a loud exhale, really releasing that. And you may want to practice that and do that when you need to. When you feel you're being too hard on yourself, or even if you have internalized somebody else being hard on you and you feel like that's you feeling that way about yourself, just release it. You don't need it. Nobody needs it. Nobody needs to be judged. So offer yourself forgiveness and practice releasing these things. Practice forgiving yourself through the breath. Focus your awareness on all the judgments, on all the things you need to forgive about yourself, because nobody is perfect. If you're not practicing forgiveness for yourself, you're not really doing it on a regular basis. So when you want to practice or in these present moments, just go back to the breath. Focus on all those things and then inhale them in and hold them and then release them and let them go. They'll come back and do it again. And that's what forgiveness looks like, and that's an exercise we can do. So let's just go through maybe in the last 2 days or week or even the hour, depending on where you're at right now, but just kind of do a flashback of all the thoughts that you held against yourself that were of less than. So any type of thoughts that you held about yourself and you should have been more loving, but instead you judged yourself. And we already got a million other people judging ourselves, but what did you judge yourself on? Now that you always have that exercise to go practice with, utilize it all the time. I mean, unless you become some type of master of forgiveness and you don't have any more judgments to yourself, continue to use that practice of breathing. You know, the next video I'll do will probably be on the breath, but just a little precursor to the video, the breath is always present. Every single moment of our lives, we're breathing without even thinking about it. That's what makes us alive. So if you can focus your awareness and your attention on your breath, you can calm your mind down to get some clarity and do some exercises and some real mental work on cultivating peace and love, such as this forgiveness exercise. So now I'd like to chat on some real world examples that I'd like to use. So a lot of my friends, sometimes we'll talk, and they don't even notice as they're talking and they're going through things how hard they are judging themselves. They have these situations just like we all do where life comes and throws us a curveball. And to add to that curveball that you're thrown, that that whatever that situation is that you're going through that's already causing you stress and taking away from your peace and love, on top of that, you're adding your own judgments on top of that. And they're to yourself. And we're conditioned to do that. We're conditioned to judge ourselves hard, live up to a standard. We have all these expectations, identities, and labels that society tells us we must fall in line with. And it's so internalized in ourselves that we are so quick to judge ourselves, especially when a situation that comes up where it might be the other person projecting their own judgments of themselves or of you onto you. And then as you're telling the story, you're telling these projections of judgment as if you believe them as well. So for instance, a lot of things are going in the world right now. As we all know, innocent Black lives are being murdered on a regular, as it's been for the history of America. And people don't know how to feel. Some people know how to feel and know exactly what they want to do to express their feelings, but some people are unsure, or this adds and enhances the stresses that already existed in their life. And people might feel shame or guilt in not doing as much as the other person, but that is another judgment of yourself, comparing yourself to another person. So you have to be loving and forgiving, and give your space that capacity and that space to understand what it is you can do or want to do or have the capacity to do in very traumatic situations. Especially we have COVID-19, we have a state of emergency, we're having curfews. This is a crazy time in history right now, so everything is intensified, and just because of that alone, we need to practice more loving and forgiveness for ourselves, because like I said, you think you can forgive others, but until you truly practice and are conditioned of being loving and forgiving to yourself, that's not real forgiveness you're giving to someone else. And that forgiveness for others, I'll do another video later, but right now what's most important is that self-forgiveness, that self-love, because we all do it. And we have the time now, especially with things the way they are, that we really need to focus on our judgments of ourselves and be more loving and forgiving. And so that can spread to others. Even you doing that to yourself, someone might recognize the energy you're feeling about yourself because you don't have that weight of those judgments anymore. You just release them. I mean, everyone has them, but not everyone releases them. They just pile them on more and more and more and more. So I hope this helped. I'll continue to post more videos, and I wish you nothing but love, and I just hope you're okay, because it's a lot to ask for any more than just being okay. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed.